I've been reading up on a lot of these responses from the post that I made yesterday. Didn't expect it to blow up as it did. There have been some attacks on my credibility. Kind of sad. But yeah, I do have an MBA. I have been programming for a long, long time. Went to BYU, University of Utah for the MBA. And I think that it's interesting that the people who are criticizing me the most are the ones that have the least background in finance. Um, so I would just like to go over and show how I did some of these calculations. That way you can see if I'm lying or not. So if we go over to the Utah Education Funding Study, what I've done is I have updated the model to follow the formula that they give on page 99. So thanks, Glenn, for pointing out that I did read initially from a graph over here and just kind of gleaned the number from the graph, but now I'm using the formulas. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go over how to make this calculation. So to do the same formula they get in their model that they presented to the Utah State Legislature, you take the natural log of three different I take the natural log of the enrollment of the largest school district, and then you take the natural log of the school district that you're looking to find the coefficient for. So this is the number right here that I'm injecting into the LRB study to make it more accurate to account for economies of scale. So the first step is to take the natural log of the total district enrollment of the largest school district. So if we go back to the original LRB study, I can use the enrollment number that they give right here, which is 84,668. So I take that number, take the natural log, and then I go ahead and I'm going to also square the natural log and cube the natural log. Once I have those, then I can take these three different coefficients that were given by the authors of the West Ed study. So I'm following to the letter this formula exactly right here. So once I come up with this number right here, so you can see right here, I've got 2,800. So over here, I put in 2,800, and then I can check right here that I'm getting negative 10.4. Where is it? 2,800 to be negative 10.64. And that's going to be this one right here. So this number matches exactly the number that's given into the LRB or in the West Ed study. Then this number, once we have this negative number right here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to calculate the difference. So I take this number right here, and then I take the difference between this number right here. And then what that does is it gives me the way for me to get that multiple. So then I do an explanation of the difference of this number and that number, which is the part right here. And then after that, I do the explanation, and then the explanation will give me the factor. So once I have the factor, then I get this number 1.23. So I can say that if I have a district that goes from 84,000 enrollment to 28,000, the difference in the funding using the predictive cost model will be 24% higher. Now, there is also a confidence interval that's given here. So I can calculate kind of a range of values given a 95% confidence interval. So what I was able to do is I was able to take the standard error from the study right here and then calculate the 10% or the confidence level. So right here, you do the confidence T interval and then you put in the alpha. So alpha is one minus the confidence interval that you want to use. And then you take in the standard error over here, that's the second parameter, and then you take in the number of observations. So they study 2,398 schools in the Utah Education Funding Study. And so then you take a minus. So you take this original number right here, you subtract, and then you take the number and then you add it. So that gives us a confidence interval. Once you have the confidence interval, then you can go through the previous steps and then you can come up with the bounds to have a lower and higher end of the model. So for example, with this enrollment right here, the costs using the predictive cost model could go up from 45% to as low as 6%. And so in my calculations, what I want to do is I want to give as much buffer as possible for the new school district to be able to maintain quality of education, quality of services. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and take this low range, this higher number right here. And you'll notice that as the size of the school district decreases, the uncertainty also increases. So that's why when you take a school district that's really large, like Alpine School District, then you break it up into a smaller school district, that you're going to get more uncertainty. And so what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've erred on the side of caution, and I've recalculated some of these numbers right here. So previously, you may have seen that this number was just a constant number or magic number. And I understand in programming that we don't want to do that. So I was able to update this based on your suggestions to go ahead and use the actual formula from the study. And so that changes the number slightly, especially for the west side. So if you were to split off and break up the school district, because you're taking such a large school district and making it really small, the predictive cost function using the more conservative in is going to give you a higher number. So because you have a predictive cost modeling, again, we're using predictive cost modeling to predict what's going to happen when you shrink the size of the enrollment of the school district, you're going to get 11,779 per student. So again, you're taking the cost of the Alpine School District, which is the largest school district, what it would have been, their cost that was estimated by LRB, and then we take that and we multiply it over here. And that's pretty much it. So when someone says, hey, I'm not qualified to adjust the numbers, that's fine. Please check my math and go ahead and make a complaint about what I do and not who I am. And I would appreciate if you send in those complaints, and we can go ahead and we can make updates on our model. So now you can see that the difference is for $383 is going to be the estimated tax increase annually for the central school district based on those new, more conservative numbers using the formula. And then we can also see for Orem in the south, if the southeast, if they're going to be their own, then the expected tax increase would be $510. And then over here, we've got two-way split east, it goes down to $300. And then the west goes over here to $1,469. So yeah, this difference will go down over time, but then I also made another update thanks to Jared mentioning that the bond would probably be too early to do in 2028. So I moved that bond. And so you can see when we bond again to kick in to make the next loan to build junior high schools, that number goes up, back up. So it starts out high, goes down as bonds are paid off, then it's going to kick up and go back up because you have like 4,000 new students between 2025 and 2028. So again, thank you guys for the feedback. I appreciate it. And I want to make this a stronger estimate. And I think we are stronger together when we work together and we come up with legitimate complaints to try to revise these numbers. I don't care how you vote. I just want to make sure that these numbers are accurate according to what West Ed said and also what LRB said. So if you have any complaints or things that you'd like me to change in the model, I think that's helpful and constructive. And as we all work together, this will help out whatever happens, whoever's in the school board to have a more reliable estimate on where taxes are expected to go. If we keep on saying no taxes, no taxes, no more taxes, then what that does is it puts a constraint on the level of services that the teachers can provide. So thank you again so much for your attention and looking to the post. Look forward to seeing more of your comments. Thank you so much.